It's so good to be here together. Good morning, and welcome to our Sunday morning worship service. I am Martha Schmidt. I've been a member of the Unitarian Church for about 30 years, and I'm also a member of the Worship for Transformation team. I'd like to extend a special welcome to all those who are worshiping here with us for the first time. We are very glad you're here. If you haven't already stopped in, please visit the welcome desk in our foyer and pick up a name tag and a newcomer's packet. Our welcoming committee members have yellow name tags and can point you toward additional information. And you are also invited to visit Shira on the 3rd floor immediately following the service for conversation and snacks.
Actually, Shira's off this Sunday.
All right, not today though. If you're joining us online, we'd ask you to fill out the newcomer form on the website so that we can be in touch to answer any questions you might have. Meanwhile, our usual practice is to gather in community for coffee and conversation after the service, downstairs in our fellowship hall or in our Zoom room. We want everyone to feel supported and at home here. So let's begin in that spirit by saying our words of welcome together. Whether this is your first or your 1000th Sunday with us, and whether you strolled, rolled, zoomed, ran, or danced in, we are glad you chose to join us. We are one people of many beliefs, identities, origins, sexualities, and genders. All are welcome here. Now we will take a moment to say hello across the technical divide. First, we're going to show the people joining us on Zoom. If you are at home, please turn on your camera. Now, people at home, wave. Now, people who are attending the service in our building, it's your turn to wave. We have a couple of announcements. There will be a new to UU workshop and light lunch from 12 to 1:30 this afternoon. It is a chance to sit down with Reverend Elizabeth and learn about Unitarian Universalism and this congregation. And Lisa Salisbury has an announcement.
Good morning, everyone. The student organization that I advise at the University of Idaho, the Sexual Orientation and Gender Identity Association, had a chili cook-off here last night. We have a ton of chili left over, and so it is downstairs in the fridge, and if you would like some chili and are willing to pitch in a couple of bucks towards the student club, see me downstairs after the service. Thank you. I also have to announce that Reverend Elizabeth won 3rd prize in the chili cook-off. And RJ, is RJ here? He won 2nd prize.
There is also an announcement from Amy Scott. She says the downstairs library in the fellowship hall is open for use. We preface our service by acknowledging our church was built on the ancestral homelands of the Nimipu, called the Nez Perce by the French-speaking traders, the Palouse, and the Stitsa Umsh, called the Coeur d'Alene. Let us pause and remember that we live on ground that is sacred, ground that was stolen, ground that cries out for justice and for reasonable stewardship. May our remembering help us to find the courage to do our part to restore wholeness to the earth and all her peoples. We are hoping that people joining us via Zoom have a chalice or a candle to light and something to light it with. Let's light our chalices together. In the light of truth and the warmth of love, we gather to seek and seek to share.
Please be seated. So the election's Tuesday. Anyone else wound a little tight? Anyone else feeling a little depressed? Here's the thing, whatever happens this week and in the weeks to come, we're going to need to come to terms with the fact that the political divide has widened to the point where we as a nation are existing in two very different versions of reality. How we do that will depend on the results of the election and on the response to the results. The path forward is unclear, but I think it's reasonable to assume it might be rocky. We've been fed a steady diet of too close to call in the presidential race for months now, and I don't know about you, but if that's true, I am baffled and heartsick. Not only that, but on January 6th of 2021, we learned that the peaceful transfer of power is no longer a given, and that knowledge is echoing in our bodies. The rhetoric leading up to this election is even more extreme than it was in the last presidential election cycle, so the risk of violence feels real. So what can we do? What should we do as individuals and as a congregation? The truth is that we can't know yet. What we do know is that when traversing rough terrain, it's important to stick together, to keep an eye out for those who are vulnerable, ready to help them at a moment's notice, and perhaps most important of all, to maintain a sense of groundedness and calm so that we can respond with love rather than reacting out of our fear or our anxiety or our heartbreak or our rage. So today's service is all about that task. We'll be reminding ourselves of the most foundational practice for self-regulation and grounding: breathing. My hope is that our service will help soothe and even reset our nervous system so that we can move through this next week with clear eyes and open hearts. Let's begin by singing together the chant that we'll sing multiple times this morning, meditation on breathing. And we'll stand up for it this time, but the rest of the times we'll sing it sitting. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When
when I breathe in. I'll breathe in peace when I breathe out. I'll breathe out love when I breathe in. I'll breathe in peace when I breathe out. I'll breathe out love. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out.
Now let's take a moment to engage in the practice of generosity together. For those of you able to make a financial contribution, the logistics are on your screen. We typically give away all of the cash from our Sunday offering to local charities whose missions align with our values, a program called the Month of Sundays. This month, the recipient is the local chapter of St. Vincent de Paul, whose mission is to help local people in need, person to person, regardless of race, nationality, religion, or sexual orientation. To donate, please indicate Month of Sundays on your check or from the online drop-down menu. In the spirit of love and for the continuing work of this church, we will now take some time to practice generosity together.
The rest of our service today is meant to be pretty meditative. It's divided into 3 movements. Either Martha or I will share a poem, and then Martin Watkinson, I'm so grateful to him for being here, will play a piece for us. I invited him to come play today because the first time I heard him play, I felt like it was a complete nervous system reset button. And I felt like that's what I needed, so maybe it might be what you all need too. So Martin, if you want to come on forward. After Martin plays, we'll sit in silence for a time together, and then we'll sing meditation on breathing again. And this time I think it's best to sing just sitting down. So get comfortable because we'll be sitting for a little while, and relax. Feel free to close your eyes if you'd like, and breathe. Our first poem will be Oxygen by Mary Oliver. She wrote it while caring for her partner at the end of her partner's life. For me, it offers a reminder of our common humanity and the power of love to help us endure and find goodness and beauty in difficult times. It can be easy to get swept away by the drama of the day. The things that we know in our bones are most important can be slippery somehow in the midst of the hustle and bustle. We lose hold of the present moment. We can even lose hold of one another. One of the gifts of caring for someone near the end of their life is that all that drama disappears. It gets clearer and clearer what really matters. The connection, the love, the tenderness, and the breath. As I read it through, I invite you to pay attention to any words or phrases that resonate, any words or phrases that land someplace tender in you, or someplace important. This is Oxygen by Mary Oliver. Everything needs it, bone, muscles, and even while it calls the earth its home, the soul. So the merciful, noisy machine stands in our house, working away in its lung-like voice. I hear it as I kneel before the fire, stirring with a stick of iron, letting the logs lie more loosely. You in the upstairs room are in your usual position, leaning on your right shoulder, which aches all day. You are breathing patiently. It is a beautiful sound. It is your life, which is so close to my own that I would not know where to drop the knife of separation. And what does this have to do with love? Except everything. Now the fire rises and offers a dozen singing deep red roses of flame. Then it settles to quietude, or maybe gratitude, as it feeds, as we all do, as we must, upon the invisible gift, our purest, sweet necessity, the air. Breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. The second poem is My Brain and Heart Divorced. It's by John Rodell, who describes himself on his website as a comic who unexpectedly gained notability as a writer and poet through his heartfelt Facebook conversations that went viral and became an Amazon best-selling book titled, Hey God, Hey John. It offers an invitation into the present moment and reminds us to trust our gut and to return again to the breath. I think it's a good touchstone during any transition from one state to another, whether it's a transition for us as individuals or perhaps as a community or a nation. This is my brain and heart divorced. My brain and heart divorced a decade ago over who was to blame about how big of a mess I have become. Eventually, they couldn't be in the same room with each other. Now my head and heart share custody of me. I stay with my brain during the week, and my heart gets me on weekends. They never speak to one another. Instead, they give me the same note to pass to each other every week. And their notes they send to one another always say the same thing. This is all your fault. On Sundays, my heart complains about how my head has let me down in the past. And on Wednesday, my head lists all of the times my heart has screwed things up for me in the future. They blame each other for the state of my life. There's been a lot of yelling and crying. So lately, I've been spending a lot of time with my gut, who serves as my unofficial therapist. Most nights, I sneak out the window in my rib cage and slide down my spine and collapse on my gut's plush leather chair that's always open for me. And I just sit, 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 until the sun comes up. Last evening, my gut asked me if I was having a hard time being caught between my heart and my head. I nodded. I said I didn't know if I could live with either of them anymore. My heart is always sad about something that happened yesterday, while my head is always worried about something that may happen tomorrow, I lamented. My gut squeezed my hand. I just can't live with my mistakes of the past or my anxiety about the future, I sighed. My gut smiled and said, in that case, you should go stay with your lungs for a while. I was confused. The look on my face gave it away. If you are exhausted about your heart's obsession with the fixed past and your mind's focus on the uncertain future, your lungs are the perfect place for you. There is no yesterday in your lungs. There is no tomorrow there either. There is only now. There is only inhale. There is only exhale. There is only this moment. There is only breath. And in that breath, you can rest while your head and heart work their relationship out. So this morning, while my brain was busy reading tea leaves, and while my heart was staring at old photographs, I packed a little bag and walked to the door of my lungs. Before I could even knock, she opened the door with a smile, and as a gust of air embraced me, she said, "What took you so long?"
come to us during a time of great sorrow. It felt very fitting to share with you. Just be the master of your universe. You have two eyes that see. Just be your own. Be kind energy so we can focus on consciousness more. Together is breathe. Just breathe. Just breathe. 'Cause love within you will grow, yes, well, it'll grow every time. And soul within you will learn, yes, well, it'll learn to rise up. Hey, this world makes me sing, makes me sing. Hey, 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 makes me sing. Hey, hey, why all this pain? I don't know. No, I don't know. I don't know. But I got a stony soul. But the butterfly affects me through all eyes I see. And through wind and this rhythm from this everything, yes, it's so hard to begin. Oh, but I believe in everything is everything is everything is. Well, this is all love, don't you see? Yeah, I've been taken from
Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out.
I first became seriously interested in breathing and how it might help me when I was a young mother with 4 rowdy daughters at home and 2 sets of parents living in my immediate neighborhood who I also kept an eye on. To say the least, I had a lot on my mind. My husband, Dan, a family practice physician, brought a book into our house called Peace is Every Step by the Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh. He liked to loan this book to his patients. He did this often enough that I became curious about the book and decided to read it. I liked what I read. The instructions were simple and straightforward. The teaching of this book is that we can be present in the moment and bring peacefulness into every moment. When we are doing the dishes, when we are walking the dog, when we are digging weeds in the garden. I was amazed to discover that when I was overwhelmed with various troubles, I could find a place to sit down wherever I was, close my eyes and take 3, only 3, deliberate breaths in and out, and then open my eyes to realize I had become calm and able to more simply address the most pressing issue of the many I had been struggling with. It was a miracle to me. I had just put a very valuable tool in my toolbox. The beauty of this tool is that it is available whenever and wherever I am. If I was texting, I'd put a heart here. The next level of how breathing has helped my life has emerged during the yoga classes that I've taken for 20 years. We exert ourselves during yoga class, taking poses that improve our flexibility and stamina. And then at the end of class, we lay down flat on the floor in corpse pose for 10 minutes or so. As thoughts come, we've been instructed to let those thoughts go. Breathing in and breathing out regularly, I found I could limit my wandering thoughts by saying to myself, breathe in peace, breathe out love. Breathe in peace, breathe out love. As I filled and emptied my lungs and my mind, I've found that my mind goes to a blissful place without words, a soothing, safe place, kind of like being held in a cloud, if I make myself describe this place. The peacefulness that I feel and that I finally know that I am loved, And I've told you this story before, that it was Reverend Elizabeth telling me every Sunday, as she often tells everyone here, you are loved and worthy just the way you are. And I wasn't feeling that in my home. My family wasn't telling me that. But now I know it. I don't know, I was transformed by her telling me every week. I've gone off script here, but I wanted to clarify that to you. I finally know that I am loved by my impetuous, tempestuous family, and that I love myself just as I am. These things have made all the difference in my ability to function more comfortably in our troubling world. We don't know what the future will bring, but I believe I have quality tools in my toolbox that will help me negotiate whatever comes. And now I'm going to read a poem by Lynn Unger entitled Breathe. Breathe, said the wind. How can I breathe at a time like this, when the air is full of the smoke of burning tires, burning lives? Just breathe, the wind insisted. Easy for you to say if the weight of injustice is not wrapped around your throat, cutting off all air. I need you to breathe. I need you to breathe. Don't tell me to be calm when there are so many reasons to be angry, so much cause for despair. I didn't say to be calm, said the wind. I said to breathe. We're going to need a lot of air to make this hurricane together.
Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Here's the thing, beloveds. Whatever happens, we know who we are. We know what's ours to do. We understand the assignment. Whatever happens, we will keep breathing. Keep doing whatever it takes to stay grounded and connected to each other and to that still small voice deep inside. We will keep breathing and we will ask that still small voice, what is love asking of me? What is love asking of me here and now in this present moment? And then we'll listen for the answer. We will keep breathing, and then we will do whatever love asks of us, even if it's scary or hard, because we are the people who choose love over fear. We will keep breathing. And we will trust that this community will have our back if love calls us into something dangerous. We will take care of each other. And we will do all we can to protect the vulnerable in our wider world. We will breathe and connect, breathe and listen, breathe and act, breathe and trust. We will breathe together. And then someday we'll find ourselves on the other side of the hard times, and we'll look back and we'll know in our bones that we stayed true to our deepest values. I love you. So be it. And so may it be. Please rise in body or spirit and join in our musical benediction. There is a love. Please join me in the words to embody our chalice flame. We extinguish this chalice that it might glow gently in our hearts. May it light our paths as we leave this place. May it guide our way until we are together again. Would it feel too jarring to take a moment to express gratitude to our special musical guest? Yeah, well, and gratitude to the brave and beautiful people who are running for local office. You guys are. So, breathe. Breathe. I love you all. Go in peace. Come back next Sunday.